I grab my coffee here and we're off and running. Welcome, folks. Welcome to 3Zan. This morning I'm going to begin by telling you about Alan Kay, my roommate from Southeast Asia. We became roommates on December 15th, 1973. Hard to believe, 50 years ago. At any rate, Alan had come to rescue from the weather squadron there in Guam, where he flew C-130s also. We just flew a little bit different variant of the airplane that he flew. He had probably 1,300, if I remember right, 1,300 hours or so in the airplane. I had 110, something like that. At any rate, we became roommates, then we became very good friends, and it's a friendship over the years that I have really treasured. One of my first flights with Alan, we were on alert together and we got scrambled to take someone who had been injured. I don't know what the injury was today, down to Utapao. Utapao was south of Korat on the coast, and it had a larger medical facility than what we had. I think we had a medical hobby center, but at any rate. So we take off with the patient and head south, and on the way down, we got a message that Utapao runway only had about half of it available. And it was a 11,000 foot runway, somewhere like that. That's where the B-52s and the KC-135s operated out of. But anyway, they were doing some repair, and we got notification, or maybe we saw them in the NOTAMs. Memory's foggy now. But anyway, there was a crane about halfway down the runway. They had about 6,000 feet, if I remember right, available for us. Usually not a big deal. But the only problem was they were in the middle of a monsoon rainstorm. Oh, crap. So we're flying down there, and we were at a combat load because we were the alert crew, and we had a lot of gas on board. We had an 11,000 pound fuel tank in our belly for refueling helicopters, and so we were quite heavy as we got down to Utapao. At any rate, everything looked good on paper as far as landing roll went, and like I said, Alan had about 1,300 hours. I had 110, somewhere around there. And I remember thinking, as we're being bounced around on final, I reached over and tapped Alan, and I said, "Hey, pull your headset back." And he did. And I said, "Do you want this landing?" And he said, "No." He says, "You're doing fine." Well, okay then. So anyway, I went in, put it on the ground, stopped it, with, I don't know how many feet, but we could see the crane sitting there. Taxi clear. And I have always appreciated Alan for that. He could have taken the airplane and said, "Yeah, you're a rookie. I think it's probably best I do it." But he's just so laid back. He's, "No, you're doing okay." But that really boosted my confidence at that time when I had just so little time in the airplane. At any rate, over the year, we became very good friends, as I mentioned before. We had two van drivers, Sam and Tongchai, and we'd call up each other at work or wherever. "Hey, Sam, this is Tongchai," and then we would laugh. Just stupid stuff like that, but it was funny. As it turned out, Alan had a navigator, Buck, and Buck drove Alan. Boy, he drove me nuts too. He drive anybody nuts. He was an equal opportunity type of guy. Anyway, Alan would just sit there and wring his hands about this, that, and the other about Buck. I'll tell you more about Buck here in an upcoming presentation. I'm going to entitle it "The Buck Stops at Bangkok." I'll tell you a little bit more about Buck then. Now back to Alan. We served the year together and then stayed in contact. When we came back to the States, I went to T-38's Advance, and Alan went to, he stayed in Rescue C-130s. And then he ended up down in Albuquerque, New Mexico at Kirkland Air Force Base before he separated from the Air Force. And then he went the corporate route, where after 20 years, I went the commercial airline route. But like I said, we stayed in touch, and on occasion we would visit with each other, and it was really just a refreshing experience. Around, I'd say the mid 90s or so, I got a call from Alan. He invited me out to Hawaii to ride on the aircraft carrier, the Carl Vinson, from Hawaii, from Pearl, back to San Diego. His son was a electrical engineer on the Carl Vinson in the nuclear reactor room. And I became Uncle Bob. They call these cruises Tiger Cruises, where the parents of the crew members are invited to ride on the last leg going home. So I got invited to go out and do that. The Navy's nowhere near as tight-assed as the Air Force is. And I actually got to drive the thing. That was kind of fun. But at any rate, that was one of the experiences I had with Alan here in retirement and as we moved on. Alan flew for corporate, like I said, just until a couple of years ago, well into his 70s. He just enjoyed it, and he had some pretty good jobs, worked for some great companies. At any rate, this is our 50th anniversary of this friendship, and I just wanted to take a moment to tell you a little bit about Alan, what he's meant to me, and to tell Alan just thanks a lot for being a friend, being a good friend. And we'll continue the laughs, sharing the experiences, and whatever else comes to mind. Alan, happy anniversary for us.